Test one, two, test one, two, test one, two, test one, two. Good evening, good evening. Hello, Slappy Slapster. Nice to see you. Gosh. Every time I mention you to my husband, the Incredible Hulk, and we reminisce about you and wonder where you are and how you are, you pop up. It's so nice to see you. I literally just brought you up sometime last month in conversation. We're like, I wonder, and I said, she's still around. She's still there. And then I went up to the page and I see that I'm still your last post. And I'm like, but I know she's in them chats. So I hope you're doing well. I hope all is good. We have Slappy Slapter. We have this new feature. I want to test it with you right now, with you guys right now. Let me just send it, Slappy Slapster. They just released this thing. I don't know if if it works, if it not. Let's see, Slappy. If you click on this link, you should be able to have a direct line of communication with me. Let's see. Click on it and see if you get in there. Naris21 already clicked that. Incredible Hulk, click it just to see because we're testing some stuff. Click in there, click that link, and let me know if you see it. This is this new messenger that YouTube has released, and it's gonna be your handle. There's no information that's gonna be visible except your YouTube profile to me, and vice versa. So if you click on it, let's see if you come in here. Let's see. I'm refreshing, and then it gives me a notification that you are in the little chat thing or whatever. Let's see, Hulk. If you can too, click on it. Because we wanted to test. We wanted to see. Now, if I send that out and everybody that clicks, does that put everybody in the same room, or is that like different? I don't know. Anyway, so the link is there. I'm going to go ahead with the show, and I'll see if you're there or not at some point. Maybe it's just some beta. I don't know. Anyway, okay. If you have stumbled upon my channel, I am Juanqui, and welcome to my world. I am a cornucopia of stuff. My husband, the Incredible Hulk, and I just got back a little while ago from dinner and steak, and only the real could relate. I had me a nasty piece of quarter sangria. Let's see. Slappy says she clicked on it. Let's see. Okay, no, you're not in there. It didn't come in. You didn't come in. You did not come in. Let's see. So it might be a little buggy because let's see one more time. Copy. And then let me try one more time. I just goes to your channel, not text. Try this one now, Hulk. Try that one. What does that do? It only goes to the channel, not text. We're just testing right here. I'm gonna get to the confession in a minute, but we're just testing right here. Try that one. I did a different one. Did that do anything? Did it do anything? Hulk, try the second one. It just goes to my channel. Interesting, because when I do it, it goes to the chat system. No text, just a channel. No text, just a channel. Okay, so listen, it's a new feature. I guess we're learning as we go along. All right, so it just goes to. It's not a hyperlink. It's hyperlink on my end. It's not a hyperlink. It's a hyperlink on my end, babe. It's a hyperlink on my end. It says, let's share videos and messages on YouTube. And then there's the link, sharing invite. And then there's a whole link. And then when I click on the link, because I can click on the link, it takes me to the message system. All right, so we'll still have to figure it out. We have to figure it out. I'm going to see if there's any videos, because I just noticed this feature on my panel this morning. It looks like they just launched it or whatever this morning. So, anyway, all right. If you have stumbled upon my channel, take 3. I am Juanqui and welcome. It just shows us as a regular type of comment. Okay, gotcha, babe. All right. Okay. It's interesting because I see it as a hyperlink on my end. Oh, let me see if I have community moderation, block words, no block words, no anything. Okay. All right. I will have to check and see what the deal was. It just shows us regular words type of comment. Okay, got you. All right, cool. So anyway, we are going to get to this confession. This is a salacious confession. I am letting you know right now. It's a long one. It's a long one. It's a long one. But, and I said, let me save this for Friday because we got time. Ain't nobody got to be at work tomorrow. Okay. The confession goes, work colleague has no idea I've seen her naked. The perversion of it all. Regular poster here, but posting under a different account for obvious reasons. I've worked in IT for a long number of years, now in a senior role. When I first started at the firm I'm at, they had no internal IT department to speak of. They outsourced the support, and as such, had very little vigilance or management of their IT function. No computer policies, security policies, etc. One of the reasons I was hired was to build a department to do all that and strengthen their IT management. We hit the ground running, quickly started to instill more controls over IT devices, and one of the first things I did was remove local admin rights from all computers to prevent users installing any and everything they wanted, and subsequently decrease risk of a security breach. Okay. They tasked him with the task, and he was up there being a whole soup Nazi up and down the halls. Okay, I'll continue. Most staff quickly got on board with this as senior management laid down the law, but a few users wanted to remain local admin rights to some particular pieces of critical software they used, which updated often and require admin approval to do so, often out of hours when IT wasn't available. Senior management agreed to this on a limited basis. I quickly discovered that among this small group of users who were allowed local admin rights, most respected the slack they had been given. But there was one guy who was, let's say, problematic. Always resisting anything IT tried to do, didn't want us to remotely connect to his computer for support, deliberately obstructed, etc. The biggest issue was that he felt he could do anything he wanted. For example, if he wanted a 3K piece of software he didn't have the patience or discipline to formally request it via a proper channel and wait for approval and purchases, he would just download a cracked version at home onto a USB stick. Oh, Naris, it's not over then. He didn't just download it. Then he bring it in and installed it. This was obviously unacceptable. Okay, see that word right there. This was obviously unacceptable. No, this was obviously unacceptable. For a multitude of reasons, it's important to note also that he was going out with another staff member who worked in the same team. We'll get to that in a second. Ha 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 ha. Side note, I don't know when this became like a Halloween, confession delivery, but I digress. I hope you're enjoying. He continues to say, As expected, we soon got wind of his behavior around IT, and I raised it with management, explaining how the firm was liable for software theft, copyright infringement, and more if we were audited. They asked me to do a discreet sweep of his computer remotely so we could build a potential case for disciplinary. Fortunately, he often left his computer turned on and signed in. Another thing we asked staff not to do, always shut down so updates and group policies can be properly applied on startup the next day. So I stayed late one evening and started see, another typo. So I stayed late one evening and he should have said started inspecting his machine remotely. I wasn't looking long. It wasn't long before I found a folder on his C drive containing lots of software installers for commercial software that we didn't own. There were a few miscellaneous subfolders as well with gibberish names. Side note, that is gibberish names on like software and stuff like that. That is the first telltale of viruses or pirated software. Tell me how I know. I know. So I started looking through them also, which is when I got a bit of a shock. One of the folders had multiple explicit photos of his girlfriend, our fellow staff member, in various poses in a bedroom, but in each and every photo she was totally naked. No. Not in a bikini, Naris 21, or topless, Slappy Slapster. Everything was on show. She was also holding a bottle of wine in a few, and whilst I couldn't tell for sure from static photos, I think she was a little tipsy or drunk when they were taken, judging by her expressions in a few. My immediate reaction was an titillation or the like. That mastication that took place in that bathroom. My immediate reaction was an titillation or the like. I was kind of mortified for her and wished I hadn't seen them. She was a very friendly and kind person. Side note, those are the freaks in the office. Who I got on well with from day one, as she made a point of making me feel very welcome to the firm. I bet. And I was now in a position where I wasn't sure how I'd look at her in the eyes again. What has been seen cannot be unseen and all that. Side note, remind me to tell you when I saw a coworker naked. I will confess that after this. I finished up and went home and masticated. No, I finished up and went home and thought long and hard. I bet it was long and hard about what to do. Do I tell her and or management and risk huge embarrassment for all of us? No doubt. Word will get out and other employees will hear about it. Maybe she would have been shocked that her boyfriend put the photos on a work computer. But maybe, just maybe, she already knew and it was some weird kind of kink they had there. He looking at them during work hours? Well, leave it to the non-melanated to come up with all sorts of freaky things. Then there was the fact that no one should have pictures of anyone naked on a work computer. However, ... The pictures were between the two of them and obviously never intended to be seen by anyone else. I'd seen them buried in a folder in his PC, which I was digging through secretly, as opposed to them being seen online by many people. Did she even remember she took them if she was drunk? The whole thing was giving me a headache that I'd never asked for. There were reasons to tell and reasons not to tell. And if I didn't know her and respected her, I probably wouldn't have cared and just went by the rule book. In the end, I took the easy road and did nothing. I told management about the illegal software, but didn't mention the photos. They cracked down on Mr. Pirate. And he removed all the crap from his computer that wasn't meant to be there. I suspect he knew IT had taken a look through the machine, but if so, he never mentioned it. 2 years later, he left to take another job with another firm, and I haven't seen him since. However, his girlfriend subsequently became his wife, and she still works at our firm. They have kids now. We talk sometimes in the canteen or passing in the corridor. Canteen? Who the hell has a canteen at work? This is starting to sound sus to me, but let's continue. Or passing in the corridor, and she still had no idea I've seen her naked. In hindsight, I sometimes think now I should have taken a different course of action. Yeah, sure, it's always, after it's done, then you always come up with a different idea. Maybe there would have been much embarrassment, but the truth would be known. And then people were giving him things, and he just put an update here. Update. Thanks for the replies, both good and bad. It's all been food for thought. And also, those who said I'm a creep, thanks for your perspective. I didn't take the photos, share the photos, put the photos on a work computer PC, or ask to see them in the first place, so not sure why I'm a creep. But hey, I can't change people's opinions. Hello, Miss Viewers Review. Miss View, you are going to have to rewind me and listen to this from the beginning, Miss View. This story, this confession is about an IT man who found pictures of the woman down the hall, the man in the bow, the vaginal canal secretions, a bottle of wine, a weird grind on her face, all of that. Okay, Miss View? Okay? The man on the boat was seen. Fibers were seen, vaginal canal, rectum, labia fold, the whole nine. The whole fucking nine. Yes, Miss View, you heard me right. This is the confession of a humble simpleton IT manager who has seen the man on the boat, the labia fold, the vaginal canal. He's seen her coin purse, the labia folds, the beef curtains, as Slappy Slapster once used to say, beef curtains, the drapery, all of that from the lady down the hall by the photocopy machine. I heard you in and out of my phone. Go shake back. The man on the boat. No, the man on the boat is just sitting in the boat. The IT man closes his confession by saying, also, contrary to what some think, I have not spent years ruminating on this. I was fairly content with my original decision and had largely forgotten about it. But some events in my extended weirder family in recent years have come to light and lies cover-ups exposed, which got me to thinking about things like this in my own life and how my own work colleagues has no idea any of this happen. I guess there's an element of guilt there and an ethical sense of she has the right to know that compromising photos of her were put on a work computer. This has been playing on my mind recently, but there more but the more I read the replies, the more I accept that telling her at this point would not benefit her at all. Only me and my guilty feelings I have. So I would be a somewhat selfish act. So it would be a somewhat selfish action to take. I'll continue to say nothing, bury it in the back of my head, and close the door. Let me tell you something. I don't even want to see all that shit, and I have some of that. All right. What do I think? Well, I was an IT manager for 5 years. Drop a bomb on IT. Yes, Miss View. It was a fun job. I was making the most money I was ever making. You know, it's always been like that with my next position. I really thought I had made it. That's when I was finally moving on my own. I lived in Queens. I was an IT manager. When I got the position, there were only 5 computers, and a computer was being shared as a server. And by the time I left that computer, by the time I left that position, I had developed the organization to be completely remote. This is way before COVID, completely remote. We had 2 servers, one that was the main server and a backup server. And I was also backing up the company out to a data center somewhere in the Midwest. You know, because we were down in Wall Street, and if Wall Street went away, we needed to be able to get the systems up and running. I set a whole thing up. We went from 5 stations to 35 stations. Everybody had Blackberries and can remote in and get their email on the whole night. I was having a gay old time. Just sitting back there. I had a little command central. All right, I had my desk, and then I had a whole other desk, Miss View, where I had all my wires and stuff, where I could just, if you had a problem, I just walk over to you, and I couldn't remote into you. I would just walk over to you. I grab your little computer, and then I got the little slim computers, Miss View, because I used to have these bulky. I got a thing with Dell, where we were getting these form factor machines, and I would just walk over and grab the little. I didn't even have to take a machine. I would just pop out your hard drive, Miss View. You ever had your hard drive popped out? Slappy Slapster, did you ever have your hard drive popped out? Naris 21, has anyone ever popped out your hard drive? And the way that I got these special machines that to pop out the hard drive, I literally just like push a button and it would just slide out. And I just took that little hard drive out and walked right back to my desk. Pushing through all the way through the whole way, and people were trying to stop me. I can't right now. Send me an email. And then I will sit at my station and I will pop that into a little dock that I had, and then I could do all my work like that. Okay, all developed by me. And you want to know how I learned all of that, Miss View? I learned all of that by asking Google. B, watching lots and lots of YouTubes from technology. I will put in exactly what I needed or the error code and see what it was giving me, and then follow people, and then I will do my little test environments, and I was getting paid, getting paid over here. And that was a good time. That was a good time. No, it should have been the cheers. That was a good time. I have, and it was wonderful. I still think of it. I drop a bomb on that. This View, he was a Latin man, and woo cha. Woo, yes. Okay. So let me give advice. Even though this is a confession, let me give advice to this IT manager. Listen, IT manager, if it ain't really gonna freaking, destroy or make you have to stay late or whatever, just keep your mouth shut. The lady's there, ain't no point. He ended up marrying her. It is what it is. More than likely, what happened, Miss View, is when you open photos and things on your computer, I think this is pretty standard now, but back in the day, maybe people didn't know. The computer always makes like a copy. It's called a cache. So you can actually, and this was notorious back in the day, you could be on your email and all those images that download onto your email when you open it up and all that, those were actually downloading like locally. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were on Outlook, Outlook makes a local copy of every email and all that. And then you can also archive. So there will be folders in your computer if you went to websites, good or bad, at websites, period. If you go to websites, there's folders in your computer that will cache some of the images for the sites so that when you revisit the sites, they load up faster. So this is something that, now people are more tech savvy, and now there's like controls in the computer where you could tell it to just click up a button, it'll delete all your cookies, caches, all of that. But back in the day, it wasn't like that. It was more hidden and less accessible to the user. So, when I was an IT manager, did I come across weird things? I came across weird things. But you have to kind of have a professional thing to you, right? A professional and also kind of like a confidentiality, unless it's something that's detrimental. A good IT manager will actually already have the computers locked so that, like if you have a window open or a door open, you can't complain that shit got in. The window is open. What the hell is that? The hell was that? Was that a motorcycle, babe? Who the fuck is riding up and down this block like that? Anyway, I thought I was behind the gate. The fuck? It gotta be somebody visiting. Anyway, so if you have a door open and all sorts of riffraff is coming through and getting in, you can't get upset if you didn't physically padlock the door. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. So if you're an IT manager and all these things are happening, and you have no policy or whatever, well, you have no policy. Now, once you make the policy and you close that door and lock the door, right? And if somebody comes out and breaks the door or jimmies the lock, then we have a problem. You understand? It was a scooter, whatever. Then we have a problem. You know what I'm saying? But, if you didn't have any controls in place and all that, then it is what it is. So to the IT manager, just mind your business and keep on staying on top of your systems and managing the policies. And if somebody breaks a policy, take it to HR and let HR write them the fuck up. Now, when I was an IT manager, did I come across weird shit? I came across weird shit. And then by people's search history, Miss View, I learned so much about people by their search history. And it's not that I was actively looking for their searches, because it is true. You kind of don't want to, you kind of like then look at people like, I know all this background and all these websites that you've been at and on. I've seen it all. And when there were moments of like, okay, people shouldn't be on these sites, I brought it up to HR and management and told them, this is what I'm going to do. I need your permission so I can block this at the server level. And they will say, okay. And so then when the next person would try to go to that site or whatever, big block with the company logo will come up saying this website is not accessible from the office. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Now, let me tell you, when I saw a coworker naked, it was horrific, Miss View. Okay? His name, I still remember his name. I'm not gonna say his whole government out here, Miss View, but it's the caucasity of it all. I was It was when I was IT manager. It had nothing to do with technology. I went to the restroom, Miss View, right? I'm going down the hall to the restroom. You know, everybody got their schedule. I always get up to pee at 10 a.m. Every job I've ever had, I always get up to pee at 10 a.m. My body is designed to pee at 10 a.m. So I went, and as I'm opening the door, Miss View, when you in this particular bathroom, it had 3 stalls to the side with doors, 2 urinals, on the same side of like when you first walk in, and then when you first walk in and you swing the door open, a big mirror, right? So I'm opening the door, and I see Mr. So and So fully naked, just his socks, Miss View, running from, I guess, where the mirrors were at, into one of the stalls and closing the door. I'm seeing all of this through the glass and in front of me, because, you know, when I open the door, I see in front of me, he jets out, but then I can still see him because the mirror is like a whole length of the wall mirror. You can see all the way through. And literally, Miss View, I pulled the door back and I stood in front of the door with my hand in the knob. Like, oh my fucking God. Oh my God. I was like, what the hell did I just see? I'm freezing. I froze in place, Miss View. I'm standing at the doorway now with the door fully closed, with the doorknob still in my hand. Literally, I could stick my tongue out and I would like touch the door. That's how close, frozen I am. And I'm in shock right now. I'm reliving it right now. I took a step back. I turned around and I went right into the office again. And I went to one of my coworkers and I said, I just saw John Green completely naked in the bathroom. And she was like, wait, what? I said, just socks. Ran from the mirror all the way into the stall. Okay? Just the socks. Running right into the thing. I was like, and she was laughing, and I was like, what kind of fucking creepo Caucasian, like, what is going on? There's no reason in hell, Miss View, why you would need to take all of your motherfucking clothes, except your socks, if you're using a stall, if you're using the seat, you know? There was no reason for you, the stall was so far away from where he got caught. And then if you're using the urinal, why are you just wearing your socks? I'm still in shock. And so when you come into the office, one of the first stations that you will see is the receptionist. Then off to the side, you will see my little cave. I was like a little cave with the technology, and I sat right next to HR, and across the hall from the server room, conference room, and then down the hall is where his stations and all that. So he will have to, when he will walk in, he will have to see me. I stayed looking at my computer. I could not. I thought it was the most creepiest thing. There's absolutely no reason why somebody will be fully naked in Area 21 in a fucking office building at 10 a.m. On Wall Street, mind you, in a professional motherfucking setting. Let me tell you, this is a professional setting where the men were ties and suit jackets and pants and the whole nine, button down, the whole contraption. So it's not like you just took your shirt off. No, you took a tie off, a coat, jacket, the long sleeve shirt, whatever undershirt you had on, your pants, your underpants, all of that, to go walk over there naked to the mirror. He literally had to take more than 10 motherfucking steps from the stall to where I found him at and saw him at. A fucking creepo. Okay? Because if you have to take your clothes off, do it in the stall when you are behind a door. You understand what I'm saying? I don't get it. I don't understand. It was crazy to me. It was, and I saw his white skinny ass The pubic hair was gray. Gray. And you know me, I'm a young Puerto Rican and Dominican. You know, I'm living my best life. I've never seen gray pubes. Certainly not in the flesh. Absolutely disgusting. But it's fitting to who he was and his whole tribe and the whole nine. Anyway, I digress. It's freakalicious, or crazy. And you bet your ass, Miss View, and Slappy Slaster and Naris 21. I told every motherfucking body in that office. I didn't leave one earlobe unheard. Okay, everybody at some point for the next month, I was telling everybody what I saw. And I kept explaining. I said the only thing he was wearing was two things. I gotta correct myself. He was wearing his socks and he was wearing his watch. Other than that, he wasn't wearing anything else. Nasty ass. Anyway, I want to thank you for coming through. I don't know what this was, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I will have to, even the cleaning lady and guests. I used to run into the cleaning ladies. Well, the cleaning ladies used to run into me at the office because, I would stay late, Miss View, right? Especially with IT. If I needed to power down, do an update or whatever, I would stay late and get that overtime. The old ladies used to tell me, the cleaning ladies, who were older ladies, they used to tell me of the shit that they used to see in them buildings, Miss View. VPs having affairs with the secretaries or the assistants in conference rooms. They've cleaned out used condoms from like reputable offices where they're not where a condom shouldn't be at. They were cleaning that up. Just craziness. People that quote unquote were working late and instead they're like having full affairs, and it's just sad. It's just absolutely sad. Anyway, we do this every night. Every night we do this. I hope you had a productive week and that you are going to enjoy your weekend. It's the summer. The summer's here. We have these games going on here, Miss View, in New York and New Jersey, and it's like football or some shit. I don't know. They hit the ball around and then they get exercise and somebody wins at the end. I don't give a fuck. But they are completely, jacking the highway, the roadways, the train system, they are just, it's a whole fucking mess. So I'm staying my ass home today. This weekend, this is why my husband and I went on a little date earlier, Miss View. We went to dinner and steak, and only the real could relate. I had the sirloin, and my husband had a tomahawk. He a big boy. He is still growing and needs all that he can get. Oh, it's soccer? I thought it was football. Soccer. Okay, soccer. Well, there you go. Weekend warrior. So there you go. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming through. I'll be back tomorrow. I hope you have a good weekend. Stay cool. It was like 9,800,000 motherfucking degrees today. I had to shower 3 times. 3 motherfucking times. By the time my husband called me, I'm about to shower a 4th time. By the time my husband called me to, he was coming home, and he's like, we should go out, let's have a little dinner date. I had to like jump in a shower, a 3rd time. I'm about to shower again, a 4th time before I could climb in bed. Cause it's the summer. It's the summer, All right. I want to thank you for coming through. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you always for your support. All right. Stay cool. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.